Alright, so today, brothers and sisters, this video is going to be about Raven Symone as a 3-year-old doing an interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And this video is going to be possibly worse than the other video featuring the Ravens football player and his son dressed up as his daughter, manifesting all these demons because they've been groomed. This could be worse depending on how you take it. So without further ado, this first part is going to be extremely slowed down, and then I will speed up to half speed after this few second intro, because there's going to be a lot here in the first few seconds. The child is completely taken over by devils, and they're only 3 years old.
Let's bring her out. Raven.
I wanted to point out before they come out on stage that this is the first time I've noticed a child with slit eyes before. That's black, because it's harder to tell when you have dark pupils when they have slits. But I started to see it for the first time with dark pupils. Now, of course, as black people, we have other different color eyes, and there's other races that have brown eyes. For some reason, it's extremely hard to spot when you have dark brown pupils. And I just wanted to say that I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but this child has been taken over too, even though that's not the focus of this video. But Rudy from Cosby Show was also taken over. As you can see, it's a boy's skull. It's a boy's skull. Yet they were able to get their hair, which I think could be witchcraft, because that's their hair. These things do perplex me, brothers and sisters. How could they get a boy's hair like this? And they're so... Well, it was passing for a long time. And then their hairline is seems kind of boyish as well. But I just wanted to slow this first few seconds down when Raven comes out, because they're not themselves at all. And this is the demons looking through this child's eyes, because they know how important this child's going to be, and an instrumental in the destruction of youth in the next, up till today. Because now they've rolled Raven out as being gay, and a lot of people are supporting it and with it, and some of them have become that way as well, just over the years from being programmed, watching them. So it was a lead up. This person is very vital, this Raven Symone is very vital to the kingdom of darkness, and all their singles and things they release nowadays, which I looked at recently, they're all covering, all of them, they have their eye covered. I can't even believe that every single that I was coming upon, they had one eye covered. Every single one. But yeah, it's not so much the child as much as what's looking through their eyes. So, but anyway.
Symone.
Do you see how the child's face is changing here? Because they hate children. Because that's God's creation. Do you see how the child's face looks? And the child has the spirit of witchcraft. Like I was saying, that's probably how everyone still thinks this was a little girl on the show. That's not. Raven is the one that's this is, and then there's jealousy obviously too, because Raven was younger than them. And then there's the fact that when you're 5 years old in the occult world, you're an adult. So they're over five clearly here. So they help groom them too. So you think they're a kid, and so Raven's a kid, so they might be help defend them or be in their corner. You're gonna notice that they're Raven's completely isolated when they start going in on them, coming for their I don't know, like little 3-year-old self. They're only 3, but they descend on them like hawks. You know how Corey Feldman, which don't like to talk about him because he backed away when he was gonna spill who really was the person who abused him, and people had to do their own research to find out it was Charlie Sheen who was the one abusing him and Corey Haim the whole time. But Corey Feldman said that he was surrounded by vultures. That's what he felt like, and so this is what that means. Even the so-called children who should have been their companions and comforter and there to be there for them, like how Corey Haim thought Corey Feldman should have been there for him when he was getting abused. They're not there for them either. They're not there for them either. I wanted to point out that their hand is translucent at the bottom, but they are doing the 666 hand sign. Their finger here is translucent, but this is still their hand doing the 666 hand sign when they walked out on the stage. They're doing the Baphomet up-down pose whenever they wave. That's what that means. Their hand is a claw and it's transparent. Notice how the child stops in their tracks, like they're scared, like they're seeing something else besides Oprah here. Well, I'm seeing something else too, and it's not Oprah, that's for sure. See how the child stops in their tracks and just stares at them like they're frightened, like they just switched personalities. They've groomed the child. They've groomed the child. They've groomed this child. They've taught them how to fake smile. They're clearly not happy. They clearly don't want to be near them. He's wondering why he didn't get a hug. This is often a grooming technique where the kid will be asked, "Hey, I didn't get a hug," and that kind of thing. But he just stays quiet for a long time here. This is when I'm going to speed it up. The child has a huge boy hand here. That's a fake smile on Raven. And that's a witch name, just so you guys know. That's a witch name. Their names are chosen by the coven and all this stuff.
You look terrific.
Wow. Like, they said that almost like they're attracted to children. He just did. He just did a satanic hand sign. He's got his Masonic ring. There it is. He's doing the devil horns. He's got his Masonic ring on. He's a Shriner.
You really do. Tell me how you got this job.
This is going to get interesting really quickly, because we all know how they have to get their jobs for Hollywood. Doesn't matter how young or how old. They start wriggling around. They start wriggling around at the waist and below because they put something on this child. They have slit eyes here. They have green eyes, Raven. This is a little boy. Big giant ears they're trying to cover up here. They braided some extra hair in. This is a boy. Once they get to the flat face frontal view, you're going to see how it's a little boy, and you're going to see possibly, hopefully, that they even look like Orlando Brown, the one that would be their co-star later in That's So Raven, the TV show on Disney Channel that they supposedly had a scandal with, and a tryst, which is disturbing if they're related.
Did you have to do auditions?
They're switching personalities. Their whole entire face just changed. And they've taught the child how to lie. This young? When I think of a child this young, I think innocence. But they've already taught them how to lie because they're about to.
Yes.
Even fangs. They're reacting really like they've been groomed. The noises and their voice, they were hissing just then, and now their voice has changed again, and now they sound like someone who's been groomed. That's just all that I can say. It's so clear here.
And was it tough for you? Yes.
And they know, unfortunately, they know what they're really saying here. And it's so hard to spot when they're both genders when they're this young, but it's possible they could have chemically castrated them or castrated them fully. Because their voice is so, it sounds like it's so ambiguous, right? They're asking, was it tough? What do you think that they're asking? What do you think that they're asking there? Y'all already know. This is disgusting. They're asking if they were erect during the audition. So they're now telling the truth here.
Lots of competition. Yes.
Their voice changed again. They're throwing up devil horns. One pointer finger, one pinky. Often Oprah does these test interviews to test people to see if they can keep a secret. They've done this with, and they look so male here. They're both two. Y'all already know. It's really hard to spot with Oprah, but it took me a long time, but they're both two. Huge male hands, and they start to shapeshift too. Look at how they're throwing up the 666 over here, Rudy. Oh, goodness. What a mess. More eyes turning into slit at the bottom. Eyes turning into slits. It's just a big boy head. It's covered up by this hat, right? They're doing the, I thought they were dressed up like how kids would back like hundreds of years ago. If they would, the kids, like I said in that, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang video that they would take from the village back to the castle. This seems like how they would dress them. Nothing new under the sun. But they were also doing like the revival of, they were doing the African empowerment clothing because they were trying to ship them to the black community at the time to tell the kids to, because this person, when they got a rap career as a child, which also sounds very strange to say, like a child has a rap career. And they were with everyone. When I say this person was shipped around with everyone, they were with Janet Jackson, Queen Latifah, Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, Shaka Khan, The Works, Madonna, which I don't like saying their name, because their name is blasphemous, and more. And I mean with them, and shipped around to them. And in one video I heard them say that they are the flavor of the month. Somebody told them to say that, and it was on Entertainment Tonight.
Do you remember what you did or what you said?
Yes, they do. And the demons in them know what they did. The slits are getting more prominent. Right there, at least. They know what they did. And unfortunately, they keep on wriggling around because they put a lot of different stuff on them, spiritually. That's why they keep on moving around, like, uncomfortably, very uncomfortably. Because this isn't natural to have a little boy dressed up like a girl, pierce their earrings, big giant boy ears, huge skull, the big nose, big male nose. The jaw is already, the neck is really, even though they're so young, but the thing about it is they know exactly what they did, and their parents are a down low dirty shame for what they put their kid through. They didn't even get their hands on their own money until they're 18. They were a slave, basically. They were offered up. They can't say what they did during the audition. And they did witchcraft just to make sure, probably backstage, their parents, or just the people out on the stage right there too, who did witchcraft to make sure they're tongue-tied, so they can't say what actually happened, because they know a child innocent like this young would want to tell the truth. And they put extra makeup, as usual, underneath the eyes to hide the big, dark bags. They have dark circle around their whole eye. All around their whole eye, they have makeup to cover that up. Dark circles around the whole eye. People think that's from sleep deprivation. That's part of it. They were SRA'd, so it's more than that. They were sodomized. They're a boy. They think that's okay. I said that these people are... I said before in other videos that when they have Jewish, right, fake Jew, because this person was part fake Jew, or is part fake Jew, it looks like they were replaced, honestly. I can't really tell, because this person, when they went on The View and all of this stuff, they seem like a different person, but I'm really not so sure. That'll be up to your discretion about what you believe on that kind of matter, but they think it's okay, perfectly okay, to sodomize a young boy and a girl. So, but yeah, they put some heavy makeup to cover up these dark bags.
Did you know Mr. Cosby before you got this job? Yes. You did?
That's the most disturbing answer that they're going to give this entire interview. They knew Bill Cosby before they got the interview. They're 3. How much longer could they have known them, right? How much longer could they have known them? Okay.
Did you watch the show? Yes. Mm-hmm.
How did they know them? At this point, the child is getting angered. They have the demeanor of a grown woman, right? It's a boy. They put that effeminate spirit on the little boy, and it looks like either a grown woman or a grown gay man. You know, that effeminacy is no joke. It's no joke. I want to just know, how could the child know that how could they know Bill Cosby before the audition, and they're only 3 years old? Were they a part of a coven together with their parents? Like Freemasonry?
And did you see Rudy on the show a lot, Keisha?
People thought this was them being all cute with their eyes all sparkly and stuff. The child shouldn't have hatred in their heart this young, but they already have they have to become defensive really quickly. You know, when stuff is happening like this to them, this is their only way of getting back at them, shooting looks like this at them like this. I mean, I don't think the child at all likes Oprah one bit from the minute they came on the stage, not one bit. And they know that they have to put on a show. They've been trained on how to look, how to use their face and other things. Unfortunately, they've been taught how to use their body and their face to draw in. That's grooming. They've been taught how to seduce, really, is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you like her. Wait.
Oprah is really apparently mean behind the nice exterior. On the inside, they're not the same person. That voice, that tone of voice with a child, inappropriate. You smile. It sounds like there's more than just sexual abuse. There's some deep, horrific, horrifying. I mean, I'm feeling like the spirit of murder on this person, like they've committed murder. You know, if you've watched the SRA testimonies, these people have been through, literally, it seems like hell and back, because they have had to commit murder of other children. They've had to be being buried alive, buried in the pit, in the woods, in the hole, left to die, deprived of food, given food, then snatched away and thrown in the trash, forced to keep their eyes open to watch certain television programming like Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland, repeatedly, like in Clockwork Orange, where they tape his eyes open and he's got to watch something on repeat. MK Ultra programming. And down to killing somebody like they love, like their sibling or an animal. To get a child to do these things and then have orgies with the child, and then, this is really horrible, then have them kill who they just had sex with, or them kill someone else that they just did something with. Watch them in terror, screaming, in pain, shoving inanimate objects. I won't go any further. This is all the things that I've heard and more in SRA testimonies. And I pray for those people that they get healed in an immense, deep way from that trauma, because I don't think any human therapist will be able to help with this. I don't. Only God. I don't think medicine is the answer. They need Jesus, because this right here, this is penultimate abuse. And abuse is abuse. I don't know what else to say. Therapy seems like they're only like swaying them back and forth, like they're rocking them, coddling, them. They need deep uprooting of demonic and like breeding. Like they have a whole colony in them. If this stuff is they've been through this stuff at a young age.
Wait 1 second. You
Did you see how their heads snapped over at them? At that look of perversion, the spirit of perversion on them. Some weird evil going on with them too. We'll notice what he's about to say.
you gotta say more than yes.
Notice how everyone starts laughing. They're laughing at them. Faces distorting demonically. They're laughing at them too. They made the whole audience laugh at them. They're not laughing though. Like they were just embarrassed. Like they just went cold. Why would you call out a kid who's just, they just learned how to talk, basically. They know how to say yes. And then the look that they shot them.
So,
Do you see that look on their face? They're trying to get the child not just embarrassed, but they're trying to get the child angry, which is something very evil to do as well. Which is tied in with the murder spirit that I was just saying was going on, because they're trying to work the child up so that when they go back behind the scenes and they do things next time, see, and like I said, these rituals, they're really doing them for the energy. So this plays into why they would take a child this young and do what they did, and why they're doing this now, to try to build them up in anger and spite so that they can get that, because anger and murder and violence are all tied in together.
so just go ahead.
Look at how the child starts smiling. That's not a normal smile for a child, like a wicked smile.
Loosen up and just...
Loosen up. What they told them while they were grooming them. Go ahead and loosen up.
You know what? Do you know what I'm saying?
They know exactly what you're saying, because children aren't as dumb as people would like them, as people treat them. They talk down to children when they're being abused in this way. They're talking down to the children. People do that in general. Why do they talk down to children? They're highly intelligent, and when they do evil acts to them, the demons are looking at Bill Cosby through the child's eyes. This is what I felt here. It was a demonic presence in this child. And it's the demons looking at him like, if you don't repent, I'm counting down to when you die so that I can rip you to shreds. That's what I felt in this moment. I know that seems like, whoa, like that's over the edge right there. But I just felt this demonic presence coming out of this child as if to say, your sin is their pleasure, because if Bill Cosby never repented for all these things he did to these children, and bringing this spirit out in this child this young, looking like they want to rip him to shreds right now, but he's not dead yet. Like I said, that's what I felt here. I felt a presence in this child that was, they were trying to bring out spite and anger, and they did. And revenge and all this, they brought it out.
Yes, you do. No, it's funny to see this big...
How uncomfortable the reaction. Their eyelids going down, their eyebrows raising up. temptation that's also in the mix. Bill laughed like a lizard. Reptile. He looks like a reptile, too. That's just the snake in him. The reptile, snake, beast, Satan, devils. Just throw it up in a big pot. That's him.
Because she's tightened up.
They said, loosened? Loosen up? And then they said, oh, I see she's tightened up. AKA, they're still talking about sodomy references. In front of the child, who's well aware of it, clearly.
Is you really?
Yeah, and she ain't tight.
Then you heard Rudy chime in, yeah. I said that they're on their side. The child has nowhere to run. The 3-year-old, which isn't even a child yet, they're a toddler. They have nowhere to run.
Up around us, it must be you. Yeah, because ordinarily she would be doing whatever she wants to do and come out here and yes people to that.
Tongue flickering. Usually she would be doing whatever she wants to do. Talking about them like they're like a lover. Like they're like they know them, like they live with them, which I know they're their dad on the show, but and this people probably took this as a father figure type of move, no. Much more than that. And get ready, because he's about to say something that only Prince has said in a song.
Anything ever bother you at all?
Just want to say he's doing a Masonic hand sign here. His finger to the lip.
Too much homework.
Too much homework.
They're doing the square and compass here. The pointer finger, middle finger, compass.
Anything ever bother you, Raven?
No.
Not a thing. Not a thing. You like working on the show a lot?
Yes.
It's the best part.
They even had them throw up a hand sign.
Working on the show a lot?
Yeah.
Do you see that? Even they've taught the child how to subtly throw up. Distortion, because they've done so much with their mouth. Demons all around their entire mouth. Their hands.
What's the best part, do you think?
The best part is,
They said that like a gay male. Because, and it's also like an attitude type of remark, like, because they've taught them how to lie, and now that they have lied, now they're like, we know that you're lying, so let's hear you give it your best shot type of reaction. This is so cruel. Not loving at all. This is a child still, right? No, to them, they're almost grown. Because when at 5 years old, they become an adult in the occult. And I said before, Kim Kardashian's eldest daughter, which is the son, obviously, was wearing pink latex on a cover of some magazine at 5. So it's pretty messed up. DJ Khaled's son. Some really messed up stuff happened to him to get a gold record at like 2 or 3 years old.
Bill Cosby.
He knows he's a low down, dirty, not good dude. It's a full-on demon on his ring, horns, eyes, black eyes, nose, face. I don't know what kind of ring this is. I'm thinking it's the Freemason ring. If you tilt it sideways, it looks like a square and compass, sort of. But Those people that are screaming and yelling, those are not them. Those are the demons in them who start reacting. It's not, they know that he's not a good person, but the people who are cheering don't know that. But what's in them knows. But it's a part of the deal. He's got praise and worship because he's 33rd degree, which is when they think that they're God, which they'll find out one day. Every knee will bow. They will bow down to the ultimate God, their creator.
That is not true, because everybody has been in her car.
He said that's not true, that he's, their favorite person and all that, as they asked them. And then he said, because everyone has been in her car. Do you guys remember that song, Little Red Corvette? It wasn't about a Corvette. Get ready, because they're about to say Little Red Corvette. That's a term, that's a witch phrase, apparently, because witch language and their music, and Little Red Corvette by Prince, people were speculating, but it's for real. Little Red Corvette is a reference about sexual organ. It's just like in that interview with Tim Russert, John Kerry, and George W. Bush. And George W. Bush says, it's so secret we can't talk about it. But they always seem to, but they don't acknowledge it. And when you tell other people, laughing, mocking, scoffing.
Uh-huh.
She drives to work.
You do?
I don't know what that means.
She drives to work. Tell her what you drive.
Tell them what you drive. They've programmed them so bad, but they still didn't want to say it. Even after all this, because what they've really been saying the whole time is what they're about to say here, when they've been asking them how did they get the role for the Cosby Show.
I drive a red Corvette.
They said a red Corvette. Little Red Corvette. The song. Gosh. Isn't that something? They actually said that. They're talking about sexual organ. These people have groomed them to the point where they've got them to say things that others have told them about themselves. I told you they said they're the flavor of the week in one interview, and now they're saying they're saying they drive a red Corvette, right? Highly disturbing. Their reaction. Absolute pedophile who wants to do something about what they just said. They're not who you thought they were, this Oprah. They're a complete, sick, disgusting, perverted pedophile. Will you look at that reaction?
Motorized Corvette.
You have your own motorized little Corvette?
Then their reaction, because they've put something on this child. Unfortunately, this is just too evil for someone so young. I couldn't make it through this. Just like the last video. I almost barely made it through. It's so much. It's so secret. They literally can't come out and just say they've been with everyone. And they were tossed around like popcorn, a bucket of popcorn. They can't come out and say that, so they say Red Corvette. The Prince song, Little Red Corvette. Not about a Corvette.
Yes.
Was it a present you gave yourself?
No.
They know how to groom the children. I've never heard anything like what they're saying here before. I don't know what they said, but now they're moving their hands. You know, I just want this to play out. I don't, it's just everything that they're saying is getting worse and worse and worse. I thank God for the strength to make it through this. And y'all too, if y'all are still watching.
Someone gave it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who helps you with your lines?
Oh, my daddy keeps going over them. Then I learn them.
You learn them. And how long does it usually take you to learn them?
About 1 time, about 2 times, about 3 times, about 4 times,
Now, people started laughing, but this is them talking about how they will learn the lines. They were using witchcraft and combined with the sex magic. So when people say they're in the studio and that how they end up reaching the high notes is because they're having sex and being penetrated, and it's just like, so they said about 1 times, about 2 times, about 3 times, and they're about to keep going because, see, now they're not, the real reason how they're able to learn so many lines so quick is because they've done some dark witchcraft and sex magic combined with that so they can learn their lines. And they're saying their dad, who obviously sold his soul and sold his kid out, did this. Is it clear yet what they went through? As a youngin', I want to add a little bonus 1-minute clip of a demon manifesting audibly in the interview. It's a minute clip. I'm gonna do my best to not intercede. This is a bonus clip that is going to be something that I've never heard before on video, and they're going to try to make it seem like it was them who said something when their mouth and the interviewer's mouth was closed and it's not anybody in the audience. It's an interview on BET years after this, and they're about 12, 13, 14 years old.
New little look you got going on.
Thank you.
Is this part of your music career, this image?
Well, this is me.
Really?
I mean, yeah, this is how I dress all the time. I just like to.
Just in black and leather?
Well, no, not this, but
No,
I'm just
okay.
talking about, trying
Down
to,
here.
dress nice.
So we've been seeing you for like a long time, like 13 years. I'm gonna say 13 years.
Okay.
Did you ever get to do anything like a regular kid, go to regular schools, do all that kind of stuff?
I go to a public magnet school, high school right now.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Where at?
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Got my grades up.
Really?
School's #1 for me. I want to go to college and everything, so.
Oh, you just want to do the normal thing, then you want to get back into this?
Oh, well, I want to do it kind of all, mixed together. Because now, like, when I'm on the set, I get a tutor.
Uh-huh.
So, I do everything at once. And I get to go to, my friend's house and parties and homecoming.
Yeah.
I love to watch movies. That's all I do. I'm always at the movie theater. I sleep a lot.
Really? Well, you should. You should be tired. You've been working since you was 16 months.
Did you hear that? This is as far as this video will go. Did you hear that laughter? I'm gonna slow it down and replay it. And while I'm doing that, they said they wear black leather all the time. I mean, that's obvious what that means. They're at the parties. They're always in leather, black leather, all the time, because they don't get to stop. He said, can I say 13 years, about 13 years? 13, the number has significance in the occult world. Freaking, At one point they get possessed. Slow it down and just play it up to the point where this other voice comes in.
I sleep a lot.
Something happens after they say this term, this phrase, I sleep a lot. Something happens, their eye starts bulging out. Maybe this is witch language, them saying something else, code for something else. Maybe like they sleep around a lot. Maybe like they sleep around a lot because their eye, they start getting possessed. Notice they have one eye covered on purpose too with their fedora, not fedora. I don't know what that hat is called, but it was really popular back then. I can't even remember the name of this hat right now, but this French style type hat, and they got their eye covered, and they start getting possessed.
Really? Well, you should. You should be tired. You've been working since you
Their eyes completely come out of their skull.
was 16 months.
Did you see that? Did you see that and hear that? There was a loud laughter, and then this person's mouth wasn't moving when the laughter. One more time.
Well, you should. You should be tired. You've
Their mouth
been working since
is closed, but yet there's laughter in a few seconds here.
you was 16
Their mouth is closed.
months.
Their mouth starts getting agape, and then they start smiling. That laughter at the end was not them. And here's how they start playing it off. They're going to silence whatever spirit just manifested audibly. They're like, oh, was that me? When they know it wasn't. And then they silence whatever spirit it was. One more time.
Since you was 16 months.
Did you hear the laughter? That wasn't them. That wasn't him. That wasn't anyone in the audience. Never heard anything like this before, brothers and sisters. Then they just play it off and hush whatever that was. Whatever that was, they just hushed it, telling it to be quiet or whatever. So I just wanted to add that because I never heard anything like that before. It was clearly not them laughing in the interview. Not him, not her, not their voice, not anyone in the audience, not dubbing. They're in a square and compass. Didn't even notice that. That's all. That's all that I can take right now, guys. My heart is like that I even was able to make this. I don't even know. It's God alone. I couldn't do this without him, really, because this is a lot here, guys. But this is Raven. This is Raven Symone. This is the what they called a mini mogul. And now, they knocked him down to size, right? They always knock them down, so they have MK Ultra Breakdown. Amanda Bynes, 2. Lindsay Lohan, 2. I said almost Hannah Montana. Miley Cyrus, 2. Not really yet, because they haven't had a really bad. They've had some falling out, but they're not really. Those 3 mainly. Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, and Hilary Duff. So really all of them. Any major child star. Embarrassment. This could have been an embarrassment ritual of some sort, except for why would, I've never heard anything. Why would they make this known on camera? A spirit or whatever. It's like, it's getting real in here, brothers and sisters. It's getting real. It's been going on. We just figuring out what's really going on more and more day by day. I ask that the Lord lead you guys into more truth than even this right here, and that y'all finding out more about this world and what's really running it day by day. Not who was running what. So, but thank you guys for watching. I'm so glad I could make it through this. This is horrible. This child was completely ripped. Their soul was ripped, torn, snatched, and demented and demonized at a very young age, at 16 months, right alongside Brooke Shields, who started at 11 months. They're up there with Brooke Shields. They might even have done some stuff beyond them, right? So it's really dark, very dark. People used to tell me before I got saved, why are you wearing black all the time? I would be like offended, the spirit of offense. I'd be like, why are you coming at me like this? Like, why are you wearing black? Are you depressed? And I was like, I didn't even think about that. My soul, my soul was very tarnished from all the sin I was taking part in. It took some guy coming up to me tell me. I mean, wow. So they're wearing all black, both of them. Sometimes it's symbolic. So, but thank you guys for watching and listen to what I had to say about this. And I pray somehow Raven can get out of this somehow. I don't know. Because once they turn 18, now it's on them. And they make the choice. Not their parents. Their parents messed them up. And they should have went and never came back. Somehow they got them so tangled. I should say tangled up in blue. Like the song, I Only Want to Be With You. That's basically that's a line from this Hootie and the Blowfish song, Only Want to Be With You, Tangled Up in Blue. But it's taken from a song that Bob Dylan made. And it's in reference to how it's hard for them to escape. And Elvis Presley made a song called Suspicious Minds, aka Caught in a Trap. And Michael Jackson in The Wiz, the black version of The Wizard of Oz, was talking about you can't get out of the game. You can't win, child. You can't get even. You can't get out of the game. That's the kind of lyrics they talk about in music. So it's hard for them. But I know God can do anything, so I see him doing miracles all the time with everyone in many ways, in little ways and big ways. Either way, it's a miracle. So I know it's possible. So I want to mention one last thing that I may have mentioned before, but I'm not so sure, but I wanted to throw it in just to confirm what I just said. The kid from The Little Rascals made a video where he talked about what happened to him in Hollywood and on the set of Little Rascals and things like this. His name was Bug Hall, I think. And he's now a believer in Christ. I'm always weary about some people who are coming out of Hollywood and if they actually got out. I think he actually got out. Although he now has fallen for the Catholic Church deception, I pray somehow there'll be mercy on his soul. He'll somehow come into the truth, get out of that deception too. But he appears to have gotten out and not had the blood out. Not had the blood out like a gang. Not had to die. And another example is the leading character from Matilda. They got out. And I read an article. It's like the article supernaturally was there and it never existed because I can't find it anywhere. Because they also did an interview about what happened to them growing up and on the sets of these Guys are going to have to dig to find that because I can't even find it anymore. It's an article, the leading star from Matilda, the little boy that had dressed up like a girl. And one more, I always talk about Macaulay Culkin. He did an interview over in, I believe it was Italy or France, an audio version of an interview, and they transcribed it, and it was taken down. But it's still up, a computerized version of it is still up, about him in these red shoes. And a producer, I've mentioned that before, and what happened there. So, just wanted to say, God can work miracles. It seemed like they're in the deepest of pit of sins, and they can be brought out like how he brought you and I out of our pit of sin. So, and I pray if you're watching and you're still participating in sinning and, you're starting to wake up, then that God will rescue you in a miraculous way. In Jesus' name. So, thank you for watching, brothers and sisters, and I hope you have a great week.